Hi Virgo, and welcome to your horoscope for April 2025. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. My horoscopes are based on the UK time zone, and please watch them in this order: for your rising sign first, then your sun sign, and finally for your moon sign. So I'm going to break the month of April down into 4 weeks. I'm going to pay particular attention to the moon, how it moves through your chart, what houses it sits in and when, and how it supports you as you go through April. So starting with week 1, Tuesday the 1st until Sunday the 6th of April. On the 1st of April, the moon is in Taurus, and it's on the very top of your chart, sitting right next to Uranus in Taurus, in your ninth house of travel, education, and the higher realms. So I think the first day of April, April Fool's Day, is going to be very serious in your case, as in it gives you the information that says this is what your ideal career is, and if you were to pursue this, it's not impossible. You'd be able to create a great deal of wealth and abundance for yourself, and also get a lot of meaning out of it. So if you're a Virgo who's in a job that you don't particularly enjoy, the first day of April is going to provide you with the answer of what you could be doing and how that could support you much more. The 2nd and 3rd of April, the moon moves into Gemini, and it joins Jupiter, the lucky planet in Gemini, in your 10th house of work. So these 2 days are fabulous for your existing career, to get a lot done, to problem solve. And even if there's something about your job that you don't particularly enjoy, to find a way to resolve that. So for instance, if you spend a part of your day editing and you don't enjoy that process, you prefer writing, then you may be able to have a conversation with your superiors, your boss, to say, this is what I enjoy most about this job. Is it possible for us to change my kind of responsibilities, my job description, so that I'm doing the things that I feel like I'm best at? On the 4th, 5th, and 6th, the moon moves into Cancer, and it goes into your 11th house of hopes and dreams, and it joins Hades and Mars that are also in Cancer. And on the 4th of April, we have the moon reaching its second quarter, so it's halfway on its way to becoming a full moon on the 12th of April, so it's waxing, so you'll notice a surge in energy. And Hades is the part of the chart where you really don't want to spend a lot of focus, and it's the things that you don't want to look at. And Mars in Cancer is also in a placement that's not particularly happy, because Mars rules Aries, and in Cancer it's forced to kind of nurture, and it's forced to use all of its energy to take care of something. And these 3 days are amazing for you to look at what your genuine hopes and dreams are for your life, even if you're not living any of those hopes and dreams right now, and what they are, what they've always been, how you could revisit those, and how you could manifest them in earnest moving forward. So the first 6 days of April for you, the moon starts in your 9th house, and it ends up in your 11th house. So that's the very top half of your chart, and it's very much to do with work and career, but really questioning whether you're in the right situation for you, whether you could adapt and amend the existing situation, or whether there's a requirement for you to change something completely. And to say, do you know what, I've done this for a while now, it's not for me. I'm going to shift, and I'm going to take this courageous leap to do something completely different. Week 2, Monday to Sunday, the 7th to the 13th of April. On the 7th and 8th, the moon is in Leo, and it joins your transiting ascendant in Leo, and that's in your 12th house of spirituality and spiritual strength. And on the 7th of April as well, we have Mercury, the communication planet, and your ruler going direct. So that's very important, because if you've been experiencing problems with communication or transportation, or your perspective has been off, that now ends and comes to a close. And with the moon and the transiting ascendant being in your 12th house of spirituality, there's a sense of being reborn. Your youthful energy returns, your inner child awakens, and it says, hey, this is what we enjoy. What are you doing this job that really doesn't suit your needs? Why are you not pursuing your hopes and dreams? And it's going to maybe come across as a little annoying to you that suddenly this inner voice speaks up very loudly and it says, this is what makes you happy. Bring more of it into your life. Don't waste your time doing things that you do not enjoy, that don't fulfill you, that are just there to as a means to an end. And instead, try and perfect your circumstances so that you're working in a way that you enjoy, and you get to pay your bills, and you get to enjoy your life overall. So for you, this is really an opportunity to make massive changes so that your life looks very different. Then on the 9th and 10th of April, the moon goes into your sign of Virgo and it goes into your first house of self. It joins the south node in Virgo in that first house of self. So these 2 days are great for you to just feel comfortable in your own skin, to return to this sense that my perspective on things is correct. But with the moon being in your sign of Virgo, an earth sign, it's now going to prompt you to take action that says, I'm going to adapt my life so that I am pursuing things that are aligned with my beliefs and values. So again, in my kind of assessment of this, if you've been working in a way that brings in a ton of money, but that makes you feel shameful or that makes you unhappy, the first 2 weeks, pretty much so far, of April are going to say, be true to yourself and do things that are aligned with who you are, and don't sell yourself out, and don't go against the grain, and don't go against your own beliefs and values, and instead return to this place of being satisfied with what you're doing. On the 11th, 12th, and 13th, the moon moves into Libra and it goes into your second house of money. And on the 12th of April, we have Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity, and also creating abundance and financial prosperity. That goes direct. And the moon in Libra is connective. It's in your second house of money. And the 11th, 12th, and 13th are going to give you ideas of how you can create an income that really does work for you, where you do feel proud of what you're doing. So if you're at a dinner, you can actually say what your profession is and feel proud of what it is you're doing and what your contribution is. And particularly on the 12th of April, we have a full moon in Libra. So the moon is at its completion point. It lets go of all of its energy. It showers you with Libra energy, and it's in your second house of money. So either expect an actual financial windfall for you to receive more money than usual, or for you to have this amazing idea that says, this is the job that I'm meant to be doing. And also I have the courage, regardless of my age, to now make this shift and to change my career and to move into something that is more enjoyable for me and ultimately I'm happier with, and ideally also pays me more. So a lot is being asked of you here in April, Virgo. If you're someone who's unhappy in your existing job, the planets are really asking you to fix that and to make massive changes in your life, which will be inconvenient, but ultimately will serve you very well. So in week 2, the moon starts in your 12th house of spirituality and spiritual strength, and it ends in your second house of money. So that's the very left-hand side of your chart, and you connect with your higher self, your physical self, and both of them combine and say, this is the way forward, Virgo. Make this happen, make the changes, you'll be happier for it, and you'll have more prosperity and abundance in your life. So it may be inconvenient, but it will serve you in the long term. And what is, an inconvenience for a few weeks or a few months if you then have years afterwards where you can enjoy yourself? I really think that's worth doing. Week 3, Monday to Sunday, the 14th to the 20th of April. On the 14th and 15th, we have the moon in Scorpio, and that's in your third house of communication, and it's next to Black Moon Lilith and Vesta. So these 2 days are the days where you really know what your heart is saying and where you really understand what your truth is. And if there have still been doubts or uncertainties, or you haven't been able to come to a decision and say, okay, enough already, there's not enough to tip the scale one way or the other. On the 14th and 15th, the scales will tip, and you'll say, emotionally, I now know this to be my truth, and I'm going to make changes as a result. Then on the 16th, 17th, and 18th, the moon moves into Sagittarius, and it goes into your fourth house of family and roots. And on the 16th, Mercury, your ruler, it ingresses into Aries. And Mercury is in Aries in your 8th house. So with that moon in your 4th house, you may be able to do 2 things at once, but it's a complete shift now. You may need to take care of family members. So maybe there's a family member who needs help with something and only you can help them in that way, whether it's arranging furniture in their house or helping them fill in a form, or maybe they've had an injury and they need someone to drive them to the hospital or something. With Mercury in Aries as well in your 8th, you're also able to take care of bureaucracy and paperwork and to fill in forms without the usual procrastination around it. On the 18th, we have Mars entering Leo, and Mars goes into Leo in your 12th house of spirituality. And that's kind of interesting because Virgo now, it's you kind of getting on a high horse, but not in an arrogant way. It's almost like April for you is saying, Virgo, stop pretending to be someone you're not and live your life the way you're supposed to. This is who you are. You now know your personality. You know your strengths. You know your weaknesses. Stop trying to fit into situations that you either don't enjoy or that aren't aligned with your gifts and talents, and be true to your own spiritual self. On the 19th and 20th, the moon goes into Capricorn, and that's interesting because you're all over the place here this month, Virgo, because now with the moon in Capricorn in your 5th, the 5th is what you love to do work-wise, but it's also who you love and what you're passionate about. So the 19th and 20th, you can now start to work on this thing that you want to be doing in future and really throw yourself into that 100%. Or it could be that you want to distract yourself from all these things that you've been doing and questioning, and you just want to have a tryst, like some sort of like some physical experience that distracts you from all these things that you've had on your mind. Whichever way you go, ultimately, obviously, it's ideal if you figured out, this is what I want to be doing and I'm going to start doing this. If you're not quite there yet and you need a break and you need to get away from it all, don't guilt yourself for that afterwards, and just kind of take a break and step away from everything. When you come back to it, you'll have a clearer perspective on things. On the 19th of April as well, the sun enters Taurus, and that goes into your 9th house of travel, education, and the higher realms. And it joins your part of fortune, and it joins Uranus in Taurus. So this is now from the 19th of April until the end of the month. What's going to be really easy is to figure out what you need to learn or study so that you can do the job, the career that you really want to be doing, and that you can achieve the impossible. It's also a good time to travel, to go on a business trip, or to just go on a personal trip, to really reflect on the things that have been going through your mind, and to come to some sort of a conclusion and to commit to it. On the 20th of April, the moon reaches its fourth quarter, so it's halfway to becoming a new moon on the 27th of April, so it's waning. And with it being in that fifth house, the desire to distract yourself will lessen and you'll start to see reason again. And it's going to be, this is what I need to do in order to change, to have a life that's fulfilling and that's consistently fulfilling. And I'm now willing to do the inner and the outer work in order to make that happen. So I just want to applaud you, Virgo, because this is a month for you that if you're off track, you really take it upon yourself to get yourself back on track. No one is telling you to do this. You take it upon yourself to do all of this. And it's really a month where you can heal your life. So week 3, the moon starts on the 14th in your third house of communication. And it ends on the 20th in your fifth house of what you love. So that's the very root and the base of your chart. And you're asking yourself, what is it that roots me? What is it that grounds me? What is it that makes me feel like I belong as it relates to work, the people in my life, and what I can do to create structures in my life so that I'm engaging with things that make me feel like I belong to my own life and I'm at home in my own life, rather than a tourist, a visitor just passing through or doing things that aren't aligned with who I really am. Week 4, Monday to Wednesday, the 21st to the 30th of April, the moon is in Aquarius on the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. And it's in your sixth house of daily routine, physical health, and also work. Pluto is transformation and change. Palace is wisdom. And these 3 days are you now acquiring the knowledge and doing the work in order to change your daily routine. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of you guys as Virgos quit your job this month and enroll in courses that set you up to do the job that you're meant to be doing. And as a Virgo, I don't think letting go is that easy. So again, I just want to applaud you for being willing to make these changes. Your ruler Mercury on the 21st of April reaches its greatest western elongation. So look for the planet low in the eastern sky just before sunrise. It will be an inspiration to you. And Mercury is in your 8th house in Aries. It allows you to do all of the boring stuff, all of the paperwork in order for you to be in the right position. On the 22nd and 23rd, we have the Lyrids meteor shower. And it's easiest to see those after midnight. And the constellation Lyra is associated with music, harmony, and creativity. So it's you being creative and artistic when it comes to your own life and making the canvas of your life work for you. Maybe for the first time ever. Maybe it's a change that you've made before. But again, it's not easy to change your life. So I really want to applaud you for taking these difficult steps so that you're living your best possible life and that you're satisfied with what you're doing. On the 24th and 25th, then, the moon goes into Pisces. That goes into your 7th house of relationships. And it joins the North Node, Venus, and Saturn in your 7th house of relationships. So this is a good day, again, to spend with people you care about, to enjoy their company, to take a little bit of time out from all the changes you've been making, and just to allow yourself to be supported and praised and encouraged by people who know you and love you. On the 26th, we have the moon going into Aries. That goes into your 8th. So this is the best day of the month to do all the legal stuff, the taxes, anything to do with the government, negotiations, to fill in the forms. You'll find that easiest. On the 27th, 28th, and 29th, the moon goes into Taurus, and that goes in your 9th house. On the 27th, we have a new moon in Taurus, and that happens in your 9th house. We have the transiting midheaven in there and Uranus in there. So the new moon pulls in a ton of Taurus energy. And a new moon is a time to plant seeds of intention. So this is now the time to get started again on making changes to your work, learning what you need to learn in order to achieve this impossible thing. So the way this looks to me, it's someone who works as an engineer going into farming, or it's someone who has worked as a cashier in a supermarket and who now says, I'm going back to school and I'm going to study the sciences so that I can become a researcher. It's really a big shift. And I really respect this kind of thing because, you know, life can be short, but life can also feel very long. And to make this kind of huge change, if things aren't right, I think is worth applauding. Then the last day of the month, the 30th, the moon goes into Gemini and it joins Jupiter again in your 10th house of work. On this day as well, Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity, ingresses into Aries. And this is the day where you can make a fresh start. So if you're starting a new business, this is the day to give that new business a birthday and to start it. If you're going from employment to self-employment, or if you're, if you've decided that the relationship you're in has not worked and you've had to adapt yourself to stay in it, and you've decided during this month, I'm leaving this relationship, this could be then the official day where you start a new relationship that actually does work for you. So big changes ahead. The houses, the moon covers in the last week of April for you, Virgo. On the 21st, it starts in your 6th house and it ends on the 30th in your 10th house. So that's houses 6 and 10 and the third quadrant. So this is public life, particularly to do with work, getting the paperwork and the officialdom sorted out, and having a few breaks via other people in between who support you and encourage you in what you're doing. So well done. I hope you have a fabulous April. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch with me, particularly Virgo, if you're someone who feels like you're in the wrong job. I can draw up your natal chart by taking your place of birth, date of birth, time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, don't worry, I can use sunrise. The problem with that is that the rising sign or the ascendant then isn't accurate, and neither are the house placements. There is a process called chart rectification where I can work out your time of birth manually. You send me 10 significant life events and I work out your time of birth. Then I have the accurate charts in front of me, and that tells me what your ideal vocational aptitudes are, what your life purpose is, what's destined in love and romance and health and travel. To look at what's coming up in future, I look at your progress chart, your transits. If it's around your birthday, also draw up a solar return chart. That can show me what's coming up in future, the next few months, the next few years. So when the best time is to travel or to move or to sell a house or to start a new business, anything like that. Astrocartography shows me what areas of the world are going to work best for you and which ones aren't going to support you. So if you're considering a move, but you don't know exactly when, astrocartography is a great tool for that. So if you have any of those questions and you want to get in touch, please do via the website, gregoryscott.com. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. That helps it show up in searches. Subscribe for more videos in future and share the video. That's what helps the channel grow. I'd be ever so grateful. And I also do a daily tarot reading on this channel. If you'd like to watch that, then please do become a channel member. Have a wonderful April, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best.